have All right, I can see quite a number of people joining in. Hello, hello, hello to everybody. Welcome to the July Open Day. I am super duper excited today. We are, elated to have each and every person on the call. If you know someone who, you both registered for this webinar together and they are not here, shoot them a message now on WhatsApp, on Instagram, on any app that you chat with, and let them know that the webinar has started. My name is Yorolua Adetila, and of course, I would be, hosting this session. So welcome, welcome, welcome on behalf of Tech for Dev. Welcome each and every person to today's webinar. And we'd just like to get to meet you, would like to get to know you. So we'll be using the webinar chat to interact. We'll be using the webinar chat to have conversations. So kindly introduce yourself using the webinar chat. I would like to get to know the following details: your name, where you're joining us from, that is your country of residence, and what are 1, 2, 3 things that you're looking forward to gaining at this webinar. So you registered for the Women Techsters Open Day. What are some things that you were expecting that coming out of this webinar I will be able to have, I would be able to go home with, I would be able to hold on to that, oh, this is something I learned at the Women Techsters Open Day. So I would love to meet everyone. Please, again, we'll be using the webinar chat. So you can use the webinar chat to type, introduce yourself, let me meet you. What's your name? Where are you joining us from? What's 2, 3 things that you want to go home with at the end of this webinar? I can see Manuela saying good evening. Hi, Manuela, good evening. I can also see Zainab. Hi, Zainab. Would love to hear more from you in terms of where you're joining us from and what are 1, 2, 3 things that you are looking forward to gaining from this webinar. I can see Patricia or Trisha. Yes, Trisha says, good evening. My name is Trisha from Lagos. Hi, Trisha from Lagos. Why did you sign up for this webinar? Was something you would love to go home with? I can see Hadia from Kano State, that's also Nigeria. I can see Ola Shubomi. Ola Shubomi says, I will be able to go without. All right, so Olashubomi says, hello, my name is Olashubomi and I am joining from Lagos. I want to know more about tech, the Women Techsters program, and how to apply for it. Okay, wonderful. You're welcome. Hi, Clementina. Hi, Favor. Miriam says, hello. So this is Miriam from Uganda. I'm not sure if your name is Miriam or Melody, but I think I'll just read as Miriam Melody from Uganda. Hi, Miriam. How is Uganda today? She says she would like to know, she'd like to know more about the program. Interesting. I can also see Esther from Lagos. I can see Azizat from Nigeria. Okay, so I would love to learn again, like I said, what are some of the expectations towards signing up for this webinar? I can see Manuela saying this is her first time joining and she wants to know more about the program and also learn more about technology. Beautiful. So I can see Patricia saying, I'm looking forward to going past the imposter syndrome and how to put myself out there as a newbie. Wonderful. I love that. Oh, I can see my namesake. Hello, Orola from Abuja. Nice to meet you. I can see Janet from Kenya saying, I would like to know how I can join the data science. Okay, so you want to transition to data science. Okay. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Awesome. So I'm just scrolling down. So I can also see Abigail. Ooh, one of our panelists is wearing Abigail. So her namesake says, I look forward to gaining some insight on how best to navigate the tech world as a beginner. I love that. I can see Billy Kisu also saying, I'm joining to know more about tech. Beautiful, beautiful. So I can see Rashida Lawal saying she's currently studying cybersecurity in Canada and she's hoping to get a mentor. Okay, interesting, interesting. Well, at least you are in the right place because here we get to connect with seasoned women in technology who have gone ahead to create careers for themselves. So it's a great thing that you are here. I can see Francisca, pardon me, saying that she's a young teenager and she wants to venture into tech, right? And she's, looking forward to learning more interesting about that. I can see Miracle also saying that she wants to learn more about technology and career growth. Edna says that she wants to hear from the women on the call. She wants to hear about their journey in technology. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. I would just love to hear more and more things from us. So I can see from Lyle from Canada saying she would love to learn new things in technology as she is a beginner in technology. I can see Esther saying she would love to start a career in tech and she hopes to start from here. Awesome. I can see Tobechi saying that she wants to transition into UI UX. Beautiful. We have a product designer on the call today. And some of the questions that you have about transitioning into technology, product design, cybersecurity, data science. We have some of our speakers here who will be able to address some of those things. So I can see Wangiti from Kenya saying that she's also looking to go into data science. Awesome, beautiful. But I can see Salma from Ghana. Hi, Salma. I think Abigail is also from Ghana. And Salma says she's a final year student studying computer science. So she's here to, network, meet new people. Interesting. So I can see Oluwaseun saying that she's a website developer and she's interested in learning more skills and seeing how she can build up herself in software development. So that's beautiful. Thank you to everyone who has joined in. Welcome once again. This is the Women Techsters Open Day. It is part of our advocacy component of the Women Techsters Initiative. And the Women Techsters Open Day is just for each and every person that is on this call right now who is about to start their journey in technology or who is interested in transitioning into technology. And of course, we have seasoned African women in technology who are here, who have been able to chart a career for themselves. And, they would share insights from some of the things that, they have been able to face, some of the challenges that we're able to overcome, as well as some of the tips and steps that a beginner needs to know, a beginner needs to put in place, towards starting their own journey in technology. So just still stay on the call. We would get to share more information about how to get into technology. We'd get to share more information about the Women Techsters programs, right? Any of our programs that are ongoing that you can make use of the opportunities that are available for you. And of course, just answering your question. So I would quickly hand over now to my colleague on the call, Omalade Oladiko, who would be giving the welcome address on behalf of our executive director who is unavoidably absent. Hi, Omalade, over to you.
Hi, Ore. Thank you very much. Just like Orelu had mentioned, my name is Omolade Ladipo, and I'm a business manager at Tech for Dev. And like she has stated as well, I'll be giving the welcome address on behalf of our executive director, Olajura Ladipo. So welcome everyone, and thank you for joining the July edition of our virtual Women Techsters Open Day program. I'm super excited to have us all here, wonderful women from across Africa. I could see from the chat section people from Nigeria, Kenya, Zambia join us today to learn about how to pursue their interest in technology. I would also especially like to also welcome you all as prospective women techsters who have joined us today to learn about starting a career in tech. I was hearing people say, reading from the chat section that they want to start a career in tech, they want to transit to tech. So welcome here, and you've come to the right venue and location to know how to transit to tech. In our usual style, I'll just quickly run through some recent highlights from our Women Techsters program and Tech for Dev in general. In January 2024, Tech for Dev launched the second edition of Africa's largest digital skilling challenge called the Digital for All Initiative or Digital for All Challenge. This competition is designed to reward self-development and encourage the acquisition and use of digital skills through competitive incentives. Our target is to reach 2 million Nigerians with an opportunity for them to compete to win a share of the total prize of 150 million naira and other consolation prizes. The learning phase started on 6th of February 2024, and it is open to secondary school students, youth, civil servants in Nigeria. You can follow us on social media for constant updates about the program. And it would also be nice to mention that the program is still running, so you still have time to join if you're a Nigerian and join the call. Last month, we opened the call for application for the Women Techsters Bootcamp Core 3.5, and we received 4,262 applications from women across 22 African countries. After a rigorous screening process, we are pleased to announce that 2,343 women have been accepted into this program and will go on to receive training in cybersecurity, data analysis, product design, product management, and software development. Since the inception of the Women Techsters Fellowship, we've recorded numerous success stories of women, mothers, daughters, wives, students, and workers who have defied the odds and paved the way for themselves in the ever-evolving technology space. As such, last year, we opened the call for applications for the 2024 Women Techsters Fellowship, and we admitted 2,014 women into the program. In the last 6 months, the fellows have persevered, juggled life and the intensive Women Textile Fellowship training phase, community project, and capstone project. To mark the culmination of the Women Textiles Fellowship, which was the 6 months training program, we held the virtual career week and job fair last 2 months, which featured keynote addresses from Chief Technologist at Meta, the Director of Gender Programs at MasterCard Foundation, Esther, multiple job partners, entrepreneurship organizations such as Innovest Africa, Soft Alliance, BSage, Hello Tractor, and many others. We are pleased to announce the Economic Empowerment Phase, which is the next stage for the 1,612 fellows in the program from our 22 African countries of reach, which are Nigeria, Ghana, Ethiopia, Egypt, DR Congo, Tanzania, Uganda, Kenya, Madagascar, Sierra Leone, Liberia, Algeria, South Sudan, Morocco, Angola, Mozambique, South Africa, Zimbabwe, Zambia, Rwanda, Gambia, and Botswana. Women Techstars is made possible through our organization Tech for Dev. And Tech for Dev is a non-profit organization that creates access to decent work and entrepreneurship opportunities and platforms for Africans through digital and technology skills empowerment and advocacy. Our vision at Tech for Dev is to equip Africans with digital and life skills that foster economic prosperity, financial freedom, and sustainable development. Women Techstars is an initiative of Tech for Dev, and our aim is to bridge the digital divide between men and women in the technology ecosystem. Through our pilot program, Nigerian Women Techstars, we enabled almost 3,000 women between the ages of 16 to 40 across Nigeria over a 3-year period to ignite interest in pursuing careers and businesses in technology. Driven by the success stories of numerous women from our Nigeria Women Textiles program, like Fatima, Tomi, Patience, amongst others, we carved a new ambition and dream to replicate this model across Africa, providing more women access to opportunities to launch careers and businesses in technology. Our dream by 2030 is to reach 5 million women in Africa by empowering them with the knowledge and skills to partake in the technology industry in Africa and the world at large. We believe that empowering change for women across Africa, as well as providing them opportunities to access employment and entrepreneurship, would help achieve a 50-50 male to female ratio balance in the technology space. The Women Techstars Open Day is a monthly virtual program organized for women across Africa to learn about leveraging the power of technology to start and advance their careers and create technology and technology-enabled businesses. The Open Day is an opportunity for women to interact with other successful women who have built careers or businesses in technology over the years and who will share their personal experiences, speak about possible career paths and business opportunities, and help women appreciate the importance of acquiring digital and deep tech skills in this digital age. Once again, I would like to appreciate everyone for being here today to commence your journeys to becoming women in tech, and to say a special thank you to our guest speakers, Samira, Anna, Dolapo, and our moderator, Abigail, for taking time out of their very busy schedules to share stories on their journeys as women in tech. I look forward to a wonderful conversation with everyone. Thank you. All right, over to you, Ore.
Thank you so, so very much, Omaladi. Thank you. And I will just be sharing a video that highlights, one of the success stories of one of our beneficiaries, just, to give more context to some of the wonderful things that Omaladi just shared with us.
My name is Fatima Ahmed. I'm from Ilorin, Kwara State. I studied chemistry from the University of Ilorin, but now I'm a woman in tech. Getting a job in Nigeria is very difficult. After my National Youth Service program, I was at home for like 5 to 6 months, writing CVs, applying for jobs, and the highest I got was callbacks, which was very frustrating. I was talking to a friend about the difficulties of getting a job in Nigeria, and he was telling me about the opportunities in tech. Coincidentally, at that time, another friend of mine was telling me about how she went to the Nigerian Women Techsters program, where she learned how to code and build websites. Seeing what she could do, I was motivated to apply for the Nigerian Women Techsters program. The training was for 12 weeks. I learned technical skills, building websites, writing codes. I also learned soft skills, communicating effectively, working in teams. It made me more effective in what I do today. Coming for the training, I just felt that, okay, I'll just learn some new skills, then have to go back home to apply for other jobs. But during the training, I started getting a lot of job opportunities, and here I am today. I have a good job, and I am glad I took the bold step to come for the Nigerian Women Techsters training. I currently work as a technical support engineer at Tech Experts, where I provide cloud-based solutions. I want to use this opportunity to encourage other young women out there who are looking for jobs to empower themselves with tech skills and take advantage of opportunities like this.
With partners like Microsoft, we've been able to train over 2,475 women in coding and deep tech skills across 12 states in Nigeria. And all this training was done for free. Over the next 10 years, we will train 5 million women across Africa by 2030, and we're looking for partners who could join us on this journey.
All right, so if you could see that, if you could hear the video that was just played, I would like to see some reactions from, some of us on the chat, just to be sure that, we are still here with us. So 1, 2, 3 things you picked from that video. What was, something that really stood out for you in that video? I can see Juliana saying that it was really inspiring. Promise says the same thing. So I would like to hear more responses. Rashida says it was very insightful. Billy said it was very encouraging. Awesome, awesome. Esther also says that she was inspired by the video. Even Loa says that she was also encouraged. Okay, interesting. Well, that's good. You can have a story just like Fatima, right? Just like how Fatima was able to, upskill herself, and she was able to learn, and she was able to change her career and her earning power. You can do the same also. So now we are quickly moving into the meat of today's session. And I'll be introducing us to our guest speakers who are already on the call, who, we would be listening to for the next, say, about 1 hour. So I will quickly read out their bios, and then we would get to meet them. So I would start with Semira Yusufu. Semira Yusufu is a product designer, crafting products and experiences driven by people, data, and strategy. She currently leads product design at Seller.co, designing tools that empower over 250,000 creators and 1 million users worldwide to sell and buy digital products. Over the years, she has applied innovation and design strategies to create products that have yielded increased user satisfaction and facilitated millions of dollars in transactions for individuals and businesses. Her experiences spans diverse sectors, including finance, e-commerce, SAS, Web3, ERP, and productivity. Beyond design, Semira has devoted a part of her life to teach education and empowerment through public speaking and content creation. Additionally, she founded Path for Her, a nonprofit aimed at highlighting product-driven careers in the technology space for young women and teenage girls in Africa. To date, she has been able to empower over 250 teenage young girls through her initiative. Hello, Samira. Good afternoon. How are you doing?
Hi, good afternoon. Thanks for having me, everyone.
Hi, Samira. Nice to meet you. Thank you so much for honoring our invite to be here. And I'll quickly move on to our next speaker, Anna. Anna is a freelance software engineer based in Harare, Zimbabwe. She's also the fundraising coordinator, software engineer, and trustee for the Django Girls Foundation. Anna is a former president of the Django Software Foundation, having served on the DSF board in various capacities from 2018 to 2020. She is the Django Con Africa Organizing Committee Chair and has also organized PyCon Zimbabwe in 2016 and 2017, respectively. Hello, Anna. Good afternoon. How are you doing today?
Hi, hello, hi, everyone. It's nice to be here. Thank you for having me.
Awesome. Thank you so very much for honoring our invite as well. And to our third speaker, Dolapo. Sorry, please just give me one moment. Yes, so Dolapo Samuel Obatala. Dolapo is an accomplished product manager with a strong track record in product management and business analysis. Currently based in China, she has a proven ability to deliver products that significantly improve efficiency and reduce costs. Dolapo holds a Bachelor of Science in Economics from the University of Lagos, Nigeria, and she is a certified Scrum Master and certified product manager. Hello, Dolapo. How are you doing today? How is China today?
Hi, alright, I'm fine, thank you. China is fine. Hi, everyone. Thank you for.
Okay. Awesome. Thank you so very much, Dolapo. And to our wonderful moderator, Abigail. Abigail is a software engineer from a cybersecurity background with a passion for building systems, community building, and sharing her experiences through global speaking engagements and technical articles. She is an open source contributor, lead, coach, co-host, and speaker in communities and organizations such as Black Python Devs, Open Source Summit Europe, Everything Open Source Project, the Django Con, COSCP, the Django Girls Ghana, Python Ghana, Python Ladies Ghana event, and many others, where she speaks on open source and tools. Hello, Abigail. Good afternoon. How are you doing today?
Hi, good afternoon. How are you guys doing?
I'm very well, thank you. So I'll quickly hand the baton over to Abigail, who would, be moderating this session. And just to everyone who would like to have questions, if you have any questions at any point in time, say from something one of the speakers says, kindly put your question in the Q&A segment, such that after the event day, after the fireside chat, rather, I'll be able to handle all your questions. Over to you, Abigail.
All right, thank you so much. Hi everyone, good evening. So today we are going to have a very amazing time asking our panelists about their experiences and asking them about their skills and how their career has been like. So I'll go through from Samira to Anna and then Dolapo, and then I'll go through a couple of questions. So to start off with, right, I'm starting off with Samira. Samira, can you walk us down a memory lane of your childhood as a young girl growing up in Nigeria? What inspired you to pursue a STEM career? What is something that ticked you off? Did you have people to look up to that were female in the STEM?
Oh, okay. Thank you for that question. So, I would say growing up, I've always just been a very curious person. I'm that kid that they'll most likely beat because I went to go and untangle the TV, the back TV, because I'm trying to figure out why is the back like this? Why is it built like this? So I've always just been a curious person. And growing up, fun fact, I wanted to be a pilot growing up. But I think my journey did not come past because I had a conversation with an uncle and he said women can be pilots. thinking about it now, that's just a wrong thing. But I had that notion, and I was just like, okay, fine, what's the next thing for me to do? And if you grow up in a Nigeria setting, you would know that there are traditional careers that you must follow. Number one is medical doctor or a lawyer or a banker. So that was my path. The path that was chosen for me was medical doctor. It was already stamped and sealed by my father that no matter what you say you're interested in, you must be a medical doctor. And I actually followed that path, did my jam, came out with good score and everything. But I've always loved computer science. I always love computer science. And one major aspect that made me start loving it was movies. I don't know whether you guys watch all these NCIS movies, but like I was obsessed with it when I was young. And the one character that interests me is that computer guy that just finds a way to just type through the computer, and the location of the terrorist is just all of a sudden figured out by the person. So I always wanted to be that, but there was the medical doctor. So the goal was to just find a way to mix that up. That's where biotech came in. Tried to apply for that, and Nigeria had happened. And instead of biotechnology, they gave me aquaculture science in school. And my father was not having it. And that's when the decision laid back to me and asked me, okay, what is the next best thing you wanted? I was like, yes, finally, to choose something I actually want. And I told him I wanted to study computer science. And he was like, sure, no problem. And I went to study computer science in school. While in school studying computer science, I was exposed to like a whole lot of aspects of computer science, because like computer science is like a broad field. So you are going to be taught software engineering, electrical engineering, programming, design, and the rest. But I found my love for design and implementation. So I just went on full on front-end development, did that, and that was the first thing that gave me my first money in school, and it was amazing. I was writing projects for people with my front-end development skills. I think I wrote like 6 projects in school. Like nobody was rich more than me in that period, because like I was cashing out for my mates because it was very easy for you to go home and tell a parent that you want to pay for somebody to do your project for you, and I'm that person you're paying. So I was seriously cashing out well from front-end development, and I did that for a couple of years, and I was just like, okay, I want to transit fully into design. And that's when I transited from front-end development to product design. So I would say generally, while doing all that, I never really saw women. There was no real, because even while in school, I can count with my hand how many women were in my class. So computer science was always foreseen as like a career that was just meant for men. Like it was a male-dominated industry. It was growing up, I started realizing that there is like an actual issue with that because of the ratio. And that's when I started volunteering for like women tech makers, like just programs and initiatives that would break that barrier, because it was a struggle. There are sometimes where there are some things only a woman can relate to. Like I'm on my period and this code is frustrating my life, but I cannot have that conversation with, like, there are just some things that you just, a guy would not just relate with you, and you want to see someone that looks like you and does what you do, which sort of inspires you to be like, oh, if this person can do this, then I can do that as well. So yeah, that's my story.
Thank you for walking us down through memory lane. That was a very interesting feedback, and thank you so much, Samira. So moving on to Anna. Anna, can you remember your first interaction with a computer, and what inspired your decision to pursue a STEM career in uni when at that time a lot of women were not into it?
Thank you, Abigail. So, my first interaction with a computer was actually in high school. So my decision to pursue a STEM subject in uni didn't start at uni level. It started when I was in high school. So in Zimbabwe, we have Form 1 to 4 as secondary school, and then Form 5 and 6 is A level, like high school. But when I was in Form 2, our school had for Form 3 and 4, it had 2 science classes and 2 arts classes. So you had to be good in mathematics and science for you to get in the science classes, which wasn't a problem for me. I was good in maths, but when it came to our stream, things changed because the previous years, they took classes doing computer studies. And then because the pass rate was lower, they decided that one class was going to do computer studies and another class was going to do accounts. They were introducing accounts during that year. So when I was in Form 2, there was this boy who became a very good friend of mine. He had brochures for Staffordshire University School of Computing in the UK. I'd never been to the UK. My parents were teachers in the rural areas, and I was at a mission school, a boarding school, which was also in the rural area. So I'm a typical rural area girl. I only started living in town when I went to university. So that's my background. So he had these brochures, and there was, you could do a degree in computer science, you could do a degree in network engineering or software engineering, in other engineering programs. So when I read about software engineering, I found that interesting. But like I said, I grew up in rural areas. So at that time, I didn't have access to a computer or internet. So all I had were those brochures. So they inspired me to want to pursue software engineering. So when we were supposed to be split for Form 3 into new classes, at first, so the senior teacher responsible, he had mixed us, just done random. So I found myself in the class that I was supposed to do accounts. So I went to ask him and say, okay, so naturally, the East was the best class and then West was the second best. And I said, okay, which criteria did you use to classify people this year? Because I know the cream goes into East and I'm in West and I don't want to do accounts, I want to do computer studies. So he had to redo like assigning people again. And then I think only maybe 1 or 2 guys chose to go into West for accounts, and the rest who were putting 3 East we're going to study computer studies. So I started working with a computer when I was 14. Yeah, and I realized that I loved computer studies, and I was good at programming. I loved the algorithms part, so I studied it again for my A levels. I did maths, physics, and computing. My family, like Semira's family, they wanted me to be a doctor because I was the only one in the family who was gifted in the sciences. So what I did was, when I applied for my A level, you had to pick a combination. So I made sure that I picked subjects which made it impossible for me to become a doctor. So I picked maths and physics and computing as the first combination. The second was maths, computing, and what was it? Geography, I think. Then I had maths, physics, and geography. So I got my first combination because I had all A's in those subjects, and I managed to study computing. And for our science class, for maths, we were mixed with people from commercial, so there were a lot of girls. But for physics, we were 20, and there were 18 boys and 2 girls. And for my computing class, we were 3, and I was the only girl. So I think for me, by the time I got to university, I think I was comfortable being among boys, few having more men and fewer women. And I went, it wasn't a problem for me. It's always been 10% women and 90% men. And until I graduated and started working in tech, which was again the same ratio. So, but I think I always thought like this is something that is prevalent to Zimbabwe or Africa. So I realized that it was actually a global phenomenon when I first went to my conference outside Africa, which was Django Under the Hood in Amsterdam. And when I walked in there, I was like, wow, this place is filled with a lot of white men and very few women. You could actually count the number of women that were there. And I guess that's why I've been working with Django girls for for many years now, since 2017, because it's a course that I now believe in, because I thought it was just peculiar to us, but I see that it's everywhere, that there are fewer women in tech than there are men. So yeah, by the time I got to university, I got to do computer science, which is what I've always wanted, and I don't regret my choice.
Nice,
Thank
nice.
you.
That's yeah, thank you so much. That's a very interesting story, and wow. Wow. It looks like things are still the same. It looks like it's getting better with the introduction of jungle girls and pie ladies and all that. So hopefully we'll get to bridge the gap or get closer to bridging the gap. And thank you so much for sharing your story. Now we'll move on to Dolapo. Interestingly, you hold a bachelor's in economics from Unilag, right? So what made you transition into tech, and why did you choose project management, like being a PM?
Okay, thank you very much for that question, Abigail. So let me just walk us down memory lane, the story of my life. So essentially, let me say the fear of poverty first of all, right? Was what was what made me realize that no, I need to do something. I need to do something fast. So when I was in school, right, I always had this mindset of working. So I'm a go-getter. If I want something, I would rather put my hands to work. I would rather do it, right, to achieve what I want. So I started off by selling pure water in school, first of all, right? So you know how you'll be in school and then you just want to ensure that you make ends meet and all of those things. So I started by selling pure water. So that was the starting point of my product management, which I didn't realize, right? Then I was also very I was volunteering a lot. I realized that if I wanted what I want, if I wanted to put myself out there, if I wanted to the type of life that I want, right, I need to put myself out there. So I was volunteering a lot. I was doing a whole lot of volunteering. It got to a point that my mom had to call me one day to say, are you studying economics or are you studying volunteering? Because it looked like that's what I was doing almost all of the time. Even my classmates knew me then. So if they wanted, maybe if they wanted to volunteer or if they wanted an information about an organization, they would just come and reach out to me to say, oh, we know that you do this volunteering stuff. And do you have information about this? Or how can we join the volunteering? So and from there, I started to realize that there's more to life than economics. There's more to life than the YDX, right? And so I started picking up some information. I started networking. I started connecting to people. And then in my final year, I think first semester, 400 level, and it started to dawn on me that I'm leaving school very soon and I need to figure out what I want to do with my life. I need to figure it out fast. And considering the economic situation in Nigeria, right? The economic situation in Nigeria is not funny. And looking for jobs, getting jobs, and all of those things is not funny. So I just made a decision one day that I was going to start reaching out to people on LinkedIn. Right. So I started growing my connection on LinkedIn. I started sending, I could send up to 50 invites to different people on LinkedIn in a day. So I just dedicated my time to say, okay, in the morning I will do 10. In the afternoon, I will do 10. Maybe in the evening or when I have time, I will do 10 every day like that, just so that I could. And then I was very strategic about it. I was intentionally sending invites to people that were in the industry that I wanted to pursue a career in, right? So before then, I didn't even know what product management was. I did in my right on up until when I was sending invites, I'd never heard of what product management was. I knew there was something called tech, but I didn't know what product management was. My goal was to become an investment analyst. That was my goal, and so that was what I was looking out for, and then that was the industry that I was reaching out to people more, right? So I was reaching out to them. I would send an email. I would reach out to them. I would send an invite. Once they get my invite, I would send them an email. And then so I was just sending to a whole lot of people, right? Some people got back to me to say, oh, they are currently not looking out for interns, or but they would reach out to me. Some I got an offer as an investment analyst, as an intern. But when I got that offer, I think I was preparing for an exam, so I couldn't come in. So I had to say, oh, do you mind giving me some time? Let me get my act together and all of this. But at the end of the day, they didn't even reach out to me again, right? But of course, I realized that at least I was doing something well enough for me to be getting those feedbacks and then the return messages. Then one fateful day, right, out of the 1001 people that I reached out to, someone responded to me to say, oh, he's looking for a period. Okay, no, he said he was looking to hire, right? And then he doesn't mind if we meet. So it was not even in the contract that when he responded to my email, or he was looking to hire, he works in the fintech industry. So I had to go back to look at his profile. Oh, okay, was the fintech industry and all of those things. So we set up a meeting when you go back, and then we met, we spoke, and as at then I was running I co-founded an enterprise called Experiential, right? What we were doing as at then was to pair people that were in final year, recent graduates, right, and core members. We were pairing them to small scale businesses for internship. Because whilst I was volunteering, I also got to realize that a lot of these employers want somebody that is 20 but has an experience of a 50-year-old person, right? So I just discovered, okay, there should be a way to bridge this gap, right? There should be a way to ensure that these people get this 50 years experience that these employers are looking for. And then I also discovered that small scale businesses do not really have the capability of paying as much as employees, or as much as fresh graduates want to be paid, or as much as standard graduates want to be paid, right? But we can give them this sort of people that would put in their best, right? And then they can give them what they can give them, like stipend, so that something to put soul and body together whilst they're also building experience. So I was working on that, and then I was able to pitch that, and it was like, okay, this makes sense, and something that since you have this prior experience, something that we can work with. And that's how I landed my first product management role, and that's how I became a product manager.
Wow, wow. Yeah. Oh, thank you so much, Dolapo, for that. Honestly, I think due to the current situation at that time, you had to respond, and you also mentioned that you're a go-getter. So I'm so happy you went for it and you went full in, and yeah, you're able to make something and even transition into PM. So that's nice. So I'll be moving back to Samira, and I'm going to talk about the point at which you decided you wanted to be a product designer. Like what's when did you decide that in your career, and also what are certain important technical skills that you say are necessary for people who want to start that journey?
Okay. Before I answer this question, I just want to put this out there, especially for people that are listening in, that it's never too late to change whatever you want to do. Like I don't know whether it's a stubborn principle, but I've always have that. If I tell you the number of careers I've switched to, at a point I wanted to be a songwriter, at a point I wanted to be product manager, at a point I wanted to be a backend developer, at a point I wanted to get into the data world, data scientist, and a whole lot of things. There was a point where I was a lecturer, like I taught in school, like I even won lecturing awards, like best student lecturer of the year and stuff like that. So I've always been somebody that, oh, I like this thing, let me explore it. And it has always been like that. Like literally, I'm a cat mom. I just woke up one day and be like, oh, I like cats. Let's explore the idea of having cats. And that's it. I just started, like, I'm literally a cat mom now, and it's going to a year, and it's been amazing. So that's one thing I just want people to know, that because there's this fear of like, oh, I want to just see how this goes. Even when you see that it's no longer aligning with your paths, it's no longer aligning with your drive, people still just stick to it. And that's when you now see somebody that is like 10 years into a job and they're not really fulfilled. So especially at a young age, it is very, very important to explore. Back to the question. So I started off learning front-end development. I loved anything front-end because it had a blend of design and implementation. So most of the time when I was doing front-end development, I figure out like the design. So I didn't even know there was a thing like that. Like there was actually product design. So most times when somebody comes to me and be like, "Oh, Samara, let me build this website," I just figure out, it can be a sketch. I just be like, okay, the landing page will look like this. When someone clicks like this, it will take them to this place. So it was just something I was just doing top of my head as a front-end developer. I never knew it was like a thing. And I was doing it for close to a year, and front-end development became like something that was just tiring for me. Sorry if there's any any developers here, I'm so sorry. But it was just something that was just like, I can't stay all my life figuring out bugs. Like, what the hell? Like, the thing is that it can go a full day. I have not baked, I have not eaten, I've not done anything. Don't get me wrong, it is amazing when you get that bug figured out. Like, see, there's no feeling as figuring out your bug. There is no feeling like that. But the process to getting it figured out, it is strenuous. And I'm just like, I don't want to do this. I don't see myself doing this thing for a long period of time. What is something that I'm really interested in? And then started exploring, because even prior to front-end development, I also did design. In fact, I created an agency. It was called Arime School. So the agency helped you with graphic design, social media management, and web development. So I was like gobbling with all those three things. Like, if you want me to do social media management for your platform, I can. I would create reels, I would talk, I would market your products. If you want me to design graphics, I was very good with Canvas. I would go to Canva, design your template for you, your flyer for you. If you want to build your website, I am good at front-end development. So like I encompassed all that and created a Rhyme School Dev. So I now saw that I really loved design. Like, it was one of the things that was really interesting for me, like figuring out colors, figuring out how this would work, which fonts would work. I was like, okay, nice. I think we want to explore this field. So I started actively looking for how to blend front-end graphic design into tech. I didn't want to be a graphic designer because, I don't know, it's recently that graphic designing and brand designing really has like levels, if I want to use that word in tech. Because normally, if you're a graphic designer, the highest you could be paid for logo was 5K. But now I know people that get up to $1,000 for just a logo. But it was not a thing then at that time. So I didn't want to venture into something that was not profitable. That was another criteria in choosing what I want to transit with. So it's not just to just transit. You need to look at criteria on how to transit successfully. So I started exploring and I saw product design. And when I saw it, I read what products, and I was like, wow, this is amazing. Like, I can even carry like the knowledge I have for front-end development and blend it into my product design. And I'm already really good at research, because if you want to do social media management or front-end development, you really need to be good at researching competitors analysis, all those stuff. So I was like, already good at this stuff. How do I go about it? Amazingly, that's another thing why I always love women and any women initiative, and I'm down for it. The first post I saw about product design was from Designer Babe. I don't know if you guys know Designer Babe, but anybody that knows me, and anytime I'm talking about my product design career, there is no time I don't mention Designer Babe. So I saw a first video about product design from her, and the video was literally talking about how she was a makeup artist and she transited into product design. And from product designer, she was able to get a work visa to London, and she now works for Wise. I was like, wow, this is possible. And I won't lie, I spent the whole day stalking her page, like down to the last down to the last Instagram post. I stalked her page. Like, she shared so many valuable resources on product that at the end of looking at her page, I was like, I think I want to pursue this. And I did that. She recommended the Google US course. So I took the Google US course. I paid for the course. I dedicated 6 months to the course. And anytime I'm having conversation with people about transiting from front end to product design, people are like, oh my God, don't do that. That's like a death to your career. Who transits from coding to products? Like, it doesn't work like that. You will not get hired. It's not in the Nigerian market, it's in the abroad market. And the response I tell them is that, do you think I'm doing any stress for the Nigerian market? Do you think I want to earn naira all my life? So I was stubborn about my transition because I saw the potential. I saw the goal. I saw that that's why it's very important. Representation matters a lot. Like, I saw that if somebody that was a Nigerian could get, because of this particular skill she has, was able to get somebody that would sponsor her to abroad. Like, I'm from Edo State. The only way you go to abroad is by crossing deserts and and doing all sorts of things. Do you understand? So I was motivated, and I was not looking at like the nearest goal. I was looking at the potential, and I worked towards it. And after 6 months, I did the Google US course. And even while looking at Designer Babe, she was always talking about putting yourself out there, which is something like I scream about every time now, because it has done wonders for me. So she mentioned like strategic ways to put yourself out there, which was like open a LinkedIn account, reach out to people. I opened LinkedIn accounts every single day. I will go and look for top designers that are Nigerian and they're in the abroad. I would message. See, there was no shame. See, if you want something, you should not put shame in your dictionary. That's one thing for me. Like, as long as the thing is legal, it's not hurting anybody. No shame at all. I would message. Some people would not respond. Some people will respond rudely. I'll be like, well, you have missed opportunity to be a friend with somebody that is going to make it in life. Let me move on to the next person. I would message, I would DM and stuff like that. And that's how I was able to connect with Tessim Alabi. Tessim Alabi is a product designer at Netflix. And the way I disturbed that woman being, I don't think he had any choice to not respond to me. Like, I followed him on Instagram, I messaged him on LinkedIn, and it was just like, you know what? I'm open for a slot for mentorship. This is my social date. I said yes. And I set it. And that's how I was mentored by him. And it has been one of the life-changing, like up till now, when I'm stuck in things, I just go back to the recordings of our mentorship program, and I'm just like uplifted and really pumped to do more. And after that mentorship program, which was like, I think for like a month, that was 7 months into me doing a product design, I started job hunting. I started looking for job, all the things that they have taught me, all the mentorship coaching, everything. I started job hunting, applying for jobs. And one thing that, if you ask anybody that has like did interview for me that early period, was like, they used to say, like, with this my entry level design, the amount of confidence I have is crazy. Because like when I get into an interview call, I'm explaining processes, like there's no shyness. They just be like, they know that this person is 6 months into the project, but the kind of confidence where this person gets, they don't understand. But that confidence was built from mentorship, from experience, from people, which I had not gotten if I was like ashamed of like putting myself out there. And after like the third interview round, I got in my first job. And anytime I tell people the first job I got, I was earning 200,000 monthly as an entry-level person. Just bet me out there. Like, for somebody that learned something for 6 months, it is very hard to land that kind of figure for your first pay. At most, maybe 50K or 100K. But I negotiated. Like, imagine somebody that did not have such experience. I negotiated. I was like, okay, is there an opportunity for me to go? Is there a 6 month? I negotiated my pay, that even people that was in the office, I was earning as an entry person, someone coming in, I was earning more than some people there. So it just shows that I had like some outrageous level of confidence that really like puts me in the table. And that's just the thing with life. Like you have to have my mom used to say delusional. You have to be a little bit delusional about yourself that this thing, I'm going to get it and I deserve it. And once you have that mindset, you are just going to keep making it. And that's how I landed my first role. And after that, it has just been amazing. Like I've worked for like foreign brands. I've worked for like Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation. Like it's crazy, like how within this space I have gotten so much growth just for the fact that I was just outrageously confident and had no shame in my dictionary. And up to now, I still play it with it. Like sometimes when I'm just like, I want to reach out to somebody and I'm already feeling ashamed, and I'm just like, Shima, has shame ever kill anybody? But pride has killed opportunity. Like pride has removed opportunity from people because you have pride. You can't, you think you are not more than this, or this person, you are better than this person. But once you understand there's no shame in whatever, as long as it's legal, go for it. The worst you can get is no response, but it won't kill you. You move on. So that I would say is like my journey into product design. I took the Google US course, had mentorship from people like Tessie Malabi, and after my mentorship, I just went on applying for job. It was not easy, trust me. Forget how the story is inspirational. There are still some times where like I felt so bad. Like I'm just like, should I go back to front-end development? Who sent me? Like I was just really sad and the rest. But I just kept on saying that if somebody can do it, if one person can do it, that's why representation matters a lot. Representation matters a lot. And one of the reasons why I started creating content, because I want people, especially like Muslim women, to see that as a Muslim woman, as a woman of color, as diverse as you can put yourself out there. You can dream for like the craziest thing and it can be possible. So representation matters a lot, and just being shameless takes you places, literally. But yeah.
Thank you so much, Samira. That there's so much to like unpack and learn from your experience. And honestly, you have so much confidence. I saw somebody write in the chat that they want to be bold, or you're very bold. That's a lot of boldness, and that's very true. We need everybody needs that a little bit amount of boldness or confidence, a little sprinkle to go a long way. Because as you
Yeah.
said, being shameless cannot kill you, right? The worst it could be is no, right? So
One thing
yeah.
I tell people is have the confidence of a white boy, in college. Have you seen those individuals? Have you seen white folks in colleges? Like the amount of audacity that they have when they are running for president or something. I don't know. Like I'm very big on shows and movies. Like they are stupidly courageous. So why should you not have that sort of confidence? So yes, that's just my goal.
That's great. That's great. So, for anyone who probably wants to transition into that, that's the way Samira. That's the route she took. So moving on, we'll be moving to more of the technical skills that Anna you think people should have when they are entering software. What are some technical skills that people wanting to break into software engineering could have? And also, what could you tell us a little bit about what you do at Django Girls?
All right. Okay. So I'll start with what I do at Django Girls. So I started out as fundraising coordinator, which mainly involves liaising with sponsors, both prospective and current sponsors. So I communicate them via email. I also create our sponsors deck, more or less sponsors prospectus, just slides on what is Django Girls. And I also do blog posts, social media to promote our fundraising as well as our sponsors. And I also maintain the website with regards to fundraising. That's what I started doing. Like if we had new information to put on the website, concerned with fundraising, I'll do that. Then in 2020, when the founder stepped down and they set up a new board of trustees. I was one of the trustees. And in that role, together with other trustees, we meet with the advisory board and decide on the future and the direction Jungle Girls as a foundation should take. Maybe for those who don't know Jungle Girls, Jungle Girls is a non-profit that is registered in the UK. That was started in 2014 by two Polish ladies, Ola and Ola. They are friends. They realized the gender gap in tech, and they organized the first workshop at EuroPython. And the movement just grew. So we provide infrastructure, website, email, and resources for women across the world who want to organize Jungle Girls workshops in their own cities. And the workshops are free for participants. And they are meant to introduce more women to programming using Python and Django. So we have a tutorial and organize a manual, coach's manual, and tutorial extensions, and other manuals. So after the founder stepped down, I became the lead maintainer and software engineer for the website, as well as for the other resources, to ensure that we can continue providing the infrastructure our volunteers need to continue organizing workshops. So we just celebrated our 10th anniversary on the 21st of July this year. So we've been operational for 10 years now. So we are really excited about that. Then the technical skills that one would want to enter into tech, is it as a software engineer or is just
As a software engineer?
As a software engineer. Oh, all right.
Yeah.
Okay, so as a software engineer, you need to know programming, at least one programming language. If you are going to do web development, you would need also to know some HTML, CSS, and maybe some JavaScript as well, depending on what you'll be working on. My main language is Python. I did learn a lot of languages during high school and college, but I didn't use those very much. And then you'd also need to know a little bit about databases. Depends with where you're working, whether you will be using relational databases or non-relational databases, but you'd need to understand how to connect your application to your database, because most systems, they store data somehow. So you'd also need to know that. I have a background in systems administration and Linux, and that also helps in some instances if you know how to maintain a server, how to maintain your own laptop. That also helps you, because one way or the other you need to deploy your website or your application somewhere, and it needs to be maintained. And these days, because of global organizations, anyway, even if you are working on an office job, people collaborate using tools like Git. So you need to be able to use Git and maybe GitHub or Bitbucket, depends on which technology the organization is using. So you'd need to know some databases, MySQL, NoSQL, or Postgres, but you need to at least know some of those packages. And you'd also need to list what you know on your CV if you are looking for a job. So if you're starting out, you need to list the technologies that you know and the skills that you have, even if they might not be related to software engineering per se. You could say maybe which operating systems are you comfortable with? Are you just a Microsoft person, or can you use Linux or Mac? So you showcase all the skills that you have, and it doesn't also have to have some non-technical skills as well, because you need to communicate with your team, and good communication skills will also help you. And being a team player also helps. So if you're starting out in tech, you need to develop some of those skills. And also, I think it helps for you to know what it is exactly that you want to do as a software engineer, because I use Python, but there are other people who use Go, there are other people who use Rust, there are other people who use Java. So you'll need to pick a language that you want to know, if at least one language that you are proficient in, and you focus for jobs that want that language. Don't learn too many languages at once, because that might deter your progress. So pick a tech stack that you want to know and learn and develop yourself in, and then it will be easier for you to then switch to other technologies. Like if you want to be able to, if you learn AWS as the cloud storage that you need, that you use, it will be easier for you to then learn Google storage or Azure. But if you try and learn them all at the same time, it might be confusing. So you need to list first discover the job that you want to apply for, whether it is front end or back end. I'm speaking of back end technology, sorry, because I'm a back end, I do mostly back end. I think Samira can help with the front end technologies, but I'm a back end person. So most of the technologies that I focus on myself or are back end technologies. So I picked what I wanted to focus on, and that is what I developed myself in. But if you want front end, again, you need to then find out which technologies you need to learn. Do you want to do React, or do you want to do Vue, or do you want to do Angular? And then you work on that. So you need to decide what it is that you really want to do, and then you focus on that. Don't do everything, like be a jack of all trades and master of none. There's so much in the tech space, and you keep learning even in the things that you think you're comfortable with. I work with Django and Python, and I continue learning about them each and every day, and from peer reviews and stuff like that. So if you try to learn so many things at one point in time, it will frustrate you, and you might think that you are not good enough, but no, it's just that you are lacking focus on what is it that you want to do. So decide on what you want to do, and then you focus on it. I'm somebody who has changed fields many times, but what I've been consistent is whatever I'm focusing on at that time is what I'm doing. And once I become proficient, if I decide, okay, I want to move on to something else, I move on to something else. But you need to be focused during the time that you are working on developing yourself for that particular job that you want, or for that particular field that you want, because tech is so diverse. Even software engineering is so diverse. You can't know everything, and you can't know all the languages. Just decide on what you want to do, and then you focus on that. And you will learn other things as you grow in your role. And also maybe as you move to other organizations, they might force you to move from Python to Go or to Rust. But once you master one programming language, it's easier to master another programming language. And instead of learning two programming languages at once, but the moment you master one, then you can easily learn another. So just give yourself time to master whatever programming language or whatever technology stack you are learning, and then you can then branch out to others.
That's so great. Thank you so much for sharing that. We're moving next to Dolapo. So, what resources were
Sorry,
helpful in your? Yeah,
I
Samira.
just realized that you did ask me about technical skills, and I was
Yeah,
fire to perspire. I'm so sorry. So for product design, the major technical skill is learning a design tool and learning a common design tool. And the one that's most common now is Figma. That I would definitely recommend Figma. And another thing is being able to be good at research, because the thing with product design, you're actually conceptualizing something, you're bringing something to life, you're bringing a product to life, a website to life, a product to life. So you need to be able to have substantial research to be able to bring out something that is effective. So user research is really important. User testing is important as well, because you're not designing this product for yourself, you're designing for people to use. So, and the scalability, or how popular or how rewarding or how revenue generating your product will be, is based on how easy for your targeted audience to use it. So think about effective products, and think about one of the reasons why it's effective is because it's so easy to Google something, it's so easy to use ChatGPT, all this kind of thing. So user testing, user research. And based on those two concepts, one product I always recommend is the Google UX research course, the Google UX design certificate. So it's a 6 months design course that takes you with different cohorts, and each of the cohorts you'll be given a project. And without, you can only move on to the next project if you complete that first cohort project. That's when you can move on to the next cohort. And at the end of the day, you are required to have a portfolio. And as a designer, for you to start looking for a job, you need to have good portfolio that shows your work. So it's a really great starter for you to get into design. And just to piggyback on what Anna said about like focus on one thing. Yes, it's amazing to like want to explore something and transit into something. I know that that is one initial advice I give. But what I always used to say also is that at least wait to start making money from that thing. And if the money is if the money is not good enough, you cannot have a solid reason to say you want to change. Because somebody is just learning data science for a month and they're already complaining that, oh, they don't like it, they don't want to change. Like, you need to be able to learn that skill and start producing results from that skill. Once you start producing results from that skill, start solving problems from that skills, you can now say, okay, I don't want to do this anymore. You can now have valid reasons why you want to start switching over, but focus on one thing as always. Like, when I started with front-end development, I didn't just move. It took like 2 years into front-end development before I moved. And even when I moved, I still always presented myself as I'm a product designer with a front-end development background. So I didn't just like discarded my knowledge of front-end development. Do you get? I just transited it into the current role I'm inside. So focus on one thing at a time. Look at how you can use it to solve problem. Do you love how you're solving problem? So give it time a bit. But yeah.
All right, thank you so much. So with the tool, you mentioned the Google UI UX course. That's why I paused on that, because I'm sure as they take it as a starter, it will list all the tools for them to collaborate. But thank you for that addition. Moving on to Dolapo. So what resources were very helpful in your transition to tech? And what were some of the challenges and roadblocks you faced? Because coming from a background in economics, right, moving to product management, what were some of the resources you used to get you to that stage? And also, what were some challenges and roadblocks that you faced during that journey?
Okay, thank you very much, Abigail, for that question. So I would say the major challenge I faced was the fact that I didn't know what product management was. So when I had my first year, it was like a fish that was brought out of water and dropped on dry land, right? So that was how it was for me. I had to struggle with a whole lot of things. And then the company that eventually offered me the job that I got on LinkedIn, it was a startup, right, with a whole lot of things to do. So imagine a startup in the remittance industry that had a whole lot of clients and then few staff. So they had no time to train. They had no time to babysit. They just want you to be on your feet running. So I did a lot of mistakes. I made a lot of errors. And well, my boss was quite patient, right? Of course, there were a lot of back and forth. He was quite patient. So I had challenges because I didn't know prior to then, I didn't know what product management was. I didn't understand what their job description entailed. Even when I went online, when I went to Google and all of these things, I didn't just quite understand. I didn't understand what I was reading. Actually, I was just reading a whole lot of things, and so when people ask me, so I've had people reach out to me to say, "Oh, like some sort of mentorship and all of this," and also recommend the resources that you use. Blah 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 blah. I like to tell people that using resources for product management is a no-go area. Well, for me, that's what I think, right? If you want to go into product management, what I always advise people to do is find a place to intern, right? Find a mentor, find a place to intern, find a place to to work. So you are somebody that is trying to transition into product management. You are somebody that is trying to understand the ropes. You want to learn as much as possible. So it shouldn't be about the money. It should be about what you can learn. Right. It wasn't like when I got my first job, I was getting paid. I was paid less than 50K. Right. So it was just about the learning. So you want to learn. One thing about product management is you need to practice, you need to be in the system, you need to be in that ecosystem where you are practicing what product management is. So it might not be exactly what the standard product management is, but you are doing something as regards that, so that by the time you start reading, right, it would make sense to you. Because I can you confirm you can hear me, please?
Yes, I can hear you.
Awesome. Because what happened to me was I was reading. In fact, where I was working then, there was a manual and all of those things. I was just reading plenty jargons that I didn't understand, right? So it was until I started on the job, I started working, and I started making mistakes, but I started realizing, okay, this is the way to do it. I started improving on some things, right? Then I started reading. That was when it started making sense to me. Then I took certifications, but then all of those things. So what I would like to advise, what I would like to say is, before you read, go through any resources, before you read any jargon, before you take any certification, first of all, try to intern, find a place to intern, right? It doesn't have to be a big organization. In fact, you will learn more in a startup than in a big organization, because in a startup, you would actually work. Startups will work you. They will work you to your bone. So you will do the work. You will know that, oh, I'm working, right? So do the work first, right? Then, just like I did the work first. Then a couple of, I think a year after, that's when I took my certifications. So when I took the certification, it was easy. When I was reading, then I understood that, oh, this is what I've been doing is called, or this is how I could have done it, or this is what I could have said, this is what I could have used, right? It would really make sense, as opposed to reading first, because you're just reading a lot of jargons, right? So you want to actually intend first, then you read. There are a couple of books, right, that you can read that would help you, right? Whilst you're on the job, you can be reading them. So there's a book that I read that was really, really helpful. So I think it's called Cracking the PM Interview. So it's not just about an interview, it's not just preparing for an interview. So the book will tell you what the role of a product manager is, the myths of product manager, the myths around managers, the difference between product manager, project manager, and program manager. It would essentially tell you those things that you need to know. It would break them down. There are interviews in the book where you can basically, it's just a breakdown of what product management is, right? It would really help to read that whilst you are on the job, not before you get the job, because it just look like you're reading a whole lot of jargon, right? And then there's how to create products that customers love. The book was also really helpful, but all of this was after, while I was on the job, when I had gained some bit of experience.
Thank you so much for letting us know that.
I'm so sorry to cut you. So for tools for product management,
Yeah.
for collaboration tools, you want to ensure that you know how to use your Google Docs, your Google Sheets. I'm a very big fan of Google Docs. Any little thing, I'm already opening Google Docs. So you want to know how to use Google Docs quite well, the Google Sheets. There's Trello, there's so depending on the type of, depending on the company you're working for, they will use different tools. But you want to be familiar with Trello, with Jira, with and ClickUp, right? So, and then there's Slack for communication, there's Skype.
Thank you so much, Olapa, for that. Now we are almost at the end, so we are going to have the final round of questions, right? So this time I'm going to start from the middle. And so, Anna, if you could look back at your younger self starting out in tech, what advice would you give to her, to your younger self?
Hi, Anna, you're
Oh,
muted.
yeah, I think you're still muted.
Okay, like I said, my younger self was a girl from the rural areas, not very exposed, and who was comfortable in her own skin in that. So when I look back at now, I realized that there are so many opportunities that I missed out on simply because I didn't do enough research to find out if there was more for me beyond my own town, beyond my own country, beyond my own continent. With the internet, it has created a global village for us. There are so many opportunities that we can tap on, even if within your own country there is unemployment, or if, like, I studied computer science because that was the program that was offered in my country. There was no undergrad in software engineering. Maybe had I known that you could find scholarships and go study elsewhere, I could have utilized that opportunity. And then the other thing is, I've always wanted to do a master's in software engineering, but there was a time that I wanted to do in Europe, and I wanted to apply for one. And I listened to people who had no idea what I do and what my career is all about, and I delayed that stage of my life. I'm going to be doing that now, starting in September. But the point is, I would tell my younger self to choose who I listen to. If I'm going to be getting advice, then I need to get advice for somebody who's within my field, who understands how my career progression should go, and who has an idea of what I'm trying to pursue and how I can get there. And I'll tell my younger self also to look for opportunities. If I hear that I can no longer apply for this scholarship because it's more than 7 years after leaving college, then I should be able to find other scholarships, because there are other scholarships that don't care about your age group. So yeah, I'll tell my younger self to choose advice carefully, and also to research, look deeper, and go for the things that you want, because it doesn't matter how long it takes, how much you delay your journey, you still get there. I'm using this background because my house is a mess. I'm packing because I'm moving out. I'll be moving in August. So yeah, it took longer than I expected, but I got there. So yeah, I'll tell my younger self, just know who you listen to. People mean well sometimes when they discourage you and they think they have your best interest in heart. And sometimes when they are being pessimistic, how will you cope? It's so far away, you'll be away from family. Yeah, they have your best interest at heart, but sometimes that's not the best for you, you know. I'll tell my young self to be adventurous. I've been traveling a lot because of Django and Python conferences, and I've wanted to relocate for a long time, but I just couldn't get myself to do it. And the people that I thought I was staying for, they actually relocated before me. My brothers moved with their families last year, and now, I thought we were together here in Harare, and all of a sudden,
Yeah, everybody's going.
their families, yeah. And I'm like, okay. So I delayed my relocation for, I think I've been talking about relocating since maybe 2019 to 2020, 2021. And I did nothing about that because I was comfortable in my status quo. I have my family and friends around me. My best friend moved, she didn't even give me a warning, like last year. And then soon afterwards, my brothers left. She didn't even tell me she was processing anything. But I'm the one who gave you that suggestion to relocate. But, so I'll tell myself, my younger self, don't be comfortable in your status quo. And what you think you have as your security, it might not be there, especially if it's based on other people. So just follow your heart and, do everything. As long as, like what Semina said, it's legal. And also, if it involves other nationalities and other countries, just make sure that you're not being trafficked as a woman. Everything is legit, and yeah, go for all those opportunities that may come your way.
Great, great. Thank you so much for that. Relocation is quite a hot topic on the continent now, and yeah, I'm really happy to know and see. And also, you mentioned one thing about still achieving your goal regardless of the age. I know we women have a lot to do, even in the family, right? We have so many responsibilities, people to take care of. But with what you're saying, there's still hope that regardless of what age, we can still achieve our dreams. And we mustn't put ourselves in a corner that, oh, if I don't get this by 28, 30, and I have to settle down, I have to do this, time is gone and it's not achievable. So I'm really happy that you said that we can still achieve
I can
it.
just see the faces who are here, and I can tell you're all very young, much younger than me.
Yeah, because sometimes it feels as if when you cross a certain age, it's not achievable because you have to move into a different part of life as a woman. But I'm really happy to know this because there's still hope. There's still hope, and there's a lot in store for us.
Yeah, live your life. If whatever you think should happen in your life it's at a certain age, whether it happens or it doesn't happen, you be living your life to the fullest. You be enjoying yourself. I like traveling. Yeah, and I've been enjoying myself traveling. And yeah, whatever hasn't happened to me, I'm still single. I hope I'll get married one day. But for me, I told myself it's not an achievement. And if I'm not going to be happy, then I would rather be single and happy than be married and unhappy. And if it's going to hinder my progress, then but it's your choice again. But the thing is, you should not stop living because you're anticipating to be married or for something else to happen to you. Because I also did that as I was growing up. Then when I turned 30, I said, okay, what I feared most has happened to me. I didn't want to reach 30 single, and it has happened. So I might as well, go on with my life. And I took I looked at I looked at all the responsibilities that I had. I'm an aunt, but I'm not a mother. So when it comes to parenting, my sister or my brothers, they will tell me that I don't understand because I'm not a parent, right? But when they want their children to be looked after, I become the mother because they are my sister's child. I become the father because they are my brother's child. That's how our culture works. So I thought to myself, okay, look, I don't have a husband. I don't have kids. So I might as well live as somebody who doesn't have a husband and kids. And because of that, I can just get invited to attend a conference and speak. I'll do my visa and I don't worry about any dependence. And I pick my bags and go and I come back. And right now I was laughing at myself when I was doing my residence permit. I'm like, oh, this is actually very funny and pathetic. I'm actually, when you get to be asked, do you have dependents? I had no one, no partner, no kids to bring about. But when I went for my biometrics, I got my decision 2 days later because my application was, straightforward. So some of the things which we force on ourselves as women, because society dictates that we should be married at a certain age, we should be doing this at a certain age, they actually hinder us for our progress. I look at myself and I don't have a husband and the kids. My best friend from college, she now has 4, but she only worked 3 months soon after graduation. And then your kind of contract was terminated. And she has never worked before. I don't know if we haven't been in touch that much now, but she was asking me when she was trying to look for opportunities to lecture now, but we did computer science together. So you need to look at your life differently. That's what I've taught myself. Okay, I don't have a husband and I don't have kids, but what is it that I've managed to do all these years? So I look at the other person who has got a husband and kids, how many have managed to do what I've done, or how many, or at least a fraction of what I've done. So I don't evaluate myself critically because of a person who is married. And I think they are happy all the time. Sometimes they are not. When you get to my age, the struggles that are in marriage, because your peers tell you, you see your cousins, you see your sisters, your brothers. And sometimes I feel sorry for my brother's wife. Sometimes, when my brothers are misbehaving. And I'm like, okay, so I'm going to be positive. I enjoy my life. Abigail has met me. I enjoy my life. I don't regret a single thing. I look at my life, everything has added up to where I am today. And even like I told you, people discouraged me at a certain stage. Everything else, when you look at your life, you should be able to say, okay, they discouraged me then, but now I'm now doing this. So everything should add up. Look at your life, what
Yeah.
your career progression, everything,
Mhm.
everything should be add up. Even, the pressure that you should be married and you are not. Look at the other side of things. How are they progressing?
Mm. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's great. Thank you so much for that. Samira and then Dolapo, final advice for women.
I just want to say, Anna, I'm so inspired. This is not me being dramatic. I'm legitimately holding back tears. I'm not even, I'm not trying to like whine you. Like I'm legit holding back tears because I so can relate to this. So first off, I don't know if there are Muslim women here, but it is really like very like optimal in my own type of background, culture, and everything to marry early. Like it's a standard. So I know I have friends, I've had conversations with friends that are married. I know the struggle of like just wishing they had fulfillment. Like it's a big struggle of like, I really wanted to do this, I can't do this, I can't do this because of just that stereotype, that pressure that just comes from society that, oh, you're clocking 30. I just feel like 30 is such a scary number. Like I don't even like hearing it as somebody in my 20s because it just feels like once you're 30 as a woman, your life stops. You just need to just start thinking about marriage. But like I've seen 32 years old women, 35, like look at Rita Dominic, like literally. And one thing I want, back to my advice, I wrote down points so that I don't just talk out of points. One thing I've come to realize is that as a woman, or even generally as a human being, you need to find your purpose in life. You need to find a level of fulfillment before you can coexist or become a partner for another person. Because once you don't do that, you become a liability to that person. And liability can come from physical liability, mental liability, where like maybe you don't have resources, you don't have money as a woman now, and you're liable to a man, or you don't have like the mental or the emotional maturity as a man, and you are just trauma dumping and just causing chaos for your wife because you have not lived, you have not understand your own struggle. So it is always very important, coming from somebody that have dated people that have given me wahala. One necessary point I have pointed out is that I don't blame them because I'm someone that's very empathetic. When something good doesn't happen or something bad happens, like maybe an outbreak, I sit down and ask myself what went wrong. And I've tend to realize that people are rushing into the idea of partnership without being a whole, like without being fulfilled, without understanding yourself, understanding your need. So you come and be partner with somebody and you're expecting that person to understand your need, understand your wants without you not doing it. So there's a huge level, be it woman, be it man, to find your purpose, find something that excites you, live it, enjoy it, like so that when you now coexist with somebody, you are not like an half package. You are coming as a whole. You know yourself, you know what you want, you know what you desire, you have the resources. You're just coming and seeking companion, you're coming and seeking social communion, and not necessarily because you want this person to satisfy your need. So that's very important. Be it a man or a woman, it is very important to find your purpose. And like what Anna said, you just live life. Live life and don't worry about like all the, I know it's easy to say, but trust me, don't worry. Once you find fulfillment, there are people that would literally beg to be in your circle or be a companion of you. Do you get? Because they see this person as a whole and then they want that for them as well. And me, I'm very big on, there's not a huge definition of what love is. Like, I get love from siblings, I get love from family, I get love from friendship. I'm somebody that will I schedule times to call my friends because I know that I am a workaholic. I schedule birthdays. Oh, this is supposed to be this person's birthday. Be there for people. It doesn't necessarily have to be a man. Like, it doesn't necessarily, I'm not saying having a man is wrong, but it is not necessarily have to be a man, because people just be like, oh my God, I'm lonely. But I'm just like, you're not responding to your friend's message. Your friend is telling you to go out for a dinner or something, but you're shouting online you're lonely. Somebody is seeking your companion and you are not necessarily seeking because you don't think that is a companion. But that's just by the way. And I just want to say, Anna, thank you for that particular message. The second point I want to give as advice is that embrace failure. I know it's not something that nobody wants to hear, but embrace failure, because truth of the matter is you will fail. I recently wrote an exam and I got like the worst score ever. And coming from someone that graduated as a valedictorian, I graduated 4.97 in my undergraduates. When I came outside from that hall and I saw that result, I was like, no, that's not my result, but it is my result. So you need to embrace failure. And embracing failure you need to ask yourself, why is this thing happening to me? What can I learn from it? Don't see it as, oh my God, this thing is happening to me. I'm a failure. I'm not going to do it again. You can't move past life if you see life like that. When I got the result, I was just like, okay, fine. People that follow me on Twitter would know. I was just like, okay, fine. I failed the results. What's next? How can I be better? And I started reaching out to people that I know that I've written that exam. First of all, the exam is very difficult to write. So I acknowledge the fact that maybe I had not prepared well, or I didn't have like enough resources. So I started looking at people that did it and passed it, what they use, the resources they use. I started reaching out to people and I'm preparing again. And even if I fail for the second time, I've already reserved another fare of money that I would see, because there is no giving up. Because the minute you just give up, that's it. You are stagnant. You will not move forward. That's just the truth. So embrace failure. And me, the way I see it is that anytime when something good is not happening to me, I'll just be laughing. I'll be looking at God. I'll just be like, God, I know what you're doing. You're preparing me for something very big. I know you. You're messing with me. No problem. That is how I see it. I see failure as, because if I didn't have failure and everything was going smoothly, there's nothing exciting. The story will not be sweet. I cannot come here and be inspiring you people. The story will not be sweet. So like if you watch movie and you're just seeing that the actor is just winning up and down, you just be like, oh, there's no plot twist. This story is not interesting. The story is interesting because of the plot twist. The story is interesting because of the author fought so many wars, went underground, did battles, did this one. That was why the story is uninteresting. So that's how I see failure. I see it as, oh my God, God is preparing me for something big. So that when that big comes, I can have the courage, I can have the strength to embrace it and accept it. So I feel like as a woman, you should, anytime that course is difficult you're taking, and you're just like, should I give up? That is the point. That is the point you will double down on it, because once you pass that point, that's it. It's take off from there and you just start succeeding. And you can just one day come up here and start telling your story of how I almost gave up, but I didn't give up. So that's just it. So embrace failures like amazingly. Like my friends used to be like, you're not normal. Like, why are you smiling? Like literally when I was just laughing. And we're like, I'm just like, don't worry. I know what my God is doing. He's literally just preparing me for something big and giving me strength to overcome it. And the second point is brag documents. So I do this thing where like for every achievement, for every comment, mind you, all the comments you guys have made on this webinar chat, I have taken pictures of it and I'm going to put it on my brag documents. So that is just a typical example. I don't know that you guys saw me carrying my phone recording, but for every achievement, for every nice compliment someone gave me, for every comment, it's not like you are insecure. No, that's not the point. The point is whenever you start doubting yourself, go back to that document. So whenever I start feeling down, I'm like, oh my God, I go back to that document and I tell myself, if the seminar of then can achieve this, can inspire somebody like this, can get even down to my first job offer, I have a screenshot on my phone. The first comment when I did a design and my boss gave me feedback, I have it on my phone. The first speaking appearance I ever had and the comments people gave, I have it. So even when I'm getting scared that, oh God, I don't know, they are very big people like Anna that's coming to come and speak here, who wants to listen to me? I go back to that first speaking experience and I see someone saying that, oh my God, Samara, I listened to you and this is what I did and this is the result. It gives you moral booster, because the truth of matter is that life is always would life you. Like you would always have imposter syndrome. I have imposter syndrome, me that you're seeing here. Before I joined this call, I know how many times I started panicking. I was like, oh my God, I don't know what to say. I reached out to the person. I was like, I have a slide. Do you think I should share my slide? And she was like, no, don't worry. We'll ask you questions. I was anxious. I was scared, literally. But I just needed to take a deep breath. I read my brag. It's literally like over 200 screenshots of things. I read my brag and I was like, I can do this. And I just went for it. And now I'm talking and it seems like, oh my God, this guy is bold. Bro, there are habits I do that make this possible. So have a brag document. Whenever somebody gives you a compliment, somebody tells you, oh, you inspired them, you did this, or even if it's a task you completed, like maybe your project now, you got 100 over 100, screenshot it. It may be silly. Trust me, this idea may be silly, but it works. Screenshot it and put it in a folder. When you start feeling insecure, you start having imposter syndrome, go back to that folder, read everything, look at all those screenshots, accept it that you were the one that was there that did all those things. And by the time you finish the last end of that thing, trust me, confidence will come and you'll be able to overcome whatever you want to overcome. And that's just it. Failure, fulfillment, brag document. And like I said, don't have shame in your dictionary. Like be shamelessly pursue whatever you want to do. I remember when I wanted to start content creating, I was like, oh my God, this is so cringe-worthy. So I'll start dancing now on TikTok. That's how I was asked, like disturbing myself. And I'm just like, there are people that did not see it as shame and was dancing on TikTok in 2020. Those people are influencers now. Those people are cashing out money from being a TikTok influencer. Those people are racking up coins that you cannot even imagine. People that were YouTubers that started in 2020, sorry. YouTube is paying them now. Imagine that time. They were like, oh, I can't start this thing. It's so cringeworthy. They won't make money out of it. Especially as a woman, don't have shame in your dictionary. Have the confidence of a white frat boy. Even if you need to go and watch videos of how they are confident, have confidence. Just be outrageously confident and find fulfillment in whatever you're doing. It can be you love to cook, pursue it, learn how to cook. It can be you love to design, pursue it, learn how to design. Don't just wait. Enjoy the current state you are. Live life, as Anna said, and that's just it. And the sky is the limit.
Thank you so much, Samira, for that. That was that's very, very packed. Talato, do you want to round up for us and then I'll hand over?
Okay. All right. So Samira and Anna has really spoken. They've said the whole lot that I'm wondering what to say myself. But I just want to say that don't be afraid to try again. Don't be it's okay not to have it figured out in the beginning. It's okay not to know what to do at the beginning. It's okay to try several things, right? It's okay to fail. It's okay to make mistakes. It's from your mistakes that you learn, right? So it is only when you make mistakes that you be able to know that, okay, this is the right thing to do, or this is how best to approach it. So it's okay to fail. It's okay not to know what you want to do with your life at the beginning. It's okay to try several things, right? That way you will be sure of, okay, this is what I have fulfillment, find fulfillment in, this is what brings me joy, this is what I have passion in, right? So it's okay to do that. And so on behalf of the married people, because Samira and Anna has already spoken on behalf of the single people, on behalf
We didn't say there's anything wrong with getting married. I want to get
No,
married.
we didn't say that though. There's nothing wrong. Like I also want to get married, but that's not the end goal.
sure, that was just a lighter mood. So okay, to once you have found yourself, right, please ensure that you find somebody that would also support you, right?
Yeah.
You want to ensure that you want to end up with somebody that is supportive, somebody that has a good heart, because when you find yourself and then you find somebody that is not supportive, right, and doesn't have a good heart, it's more or less like you have not found yourself. So you want to you want to be sure that after finding yourself, after enjoying yourself, find somebody that is supportive and has a good heart. Yeah, that would be all because Semirat and Anna, they've done just.
Great. Great. Thank you so much, Olapo, Samira, Anna. Thank you so much. They said you should be shameless, right? You should go for what you want. You must be fulfilled. You must find your purpose. And also, even if you are going to find someone, you should make sure that you found your purpose and the person supports you. Don't go and pick someone who will show you shaggy. So thank you so much for being on the panel and thank you for letting me be your moderator. Over to you.
You did so well. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Wow. I mean, I saw someone say that this is the best webinar that they've attended in a long time. And I'm like, I hold this webinar every month, and I can attest to it that yes, we have gone in multiple directions today. And I love how, today's conversation went because there was something for everybody, right? If you're on the call, you've been listening so far, I would like for you to please, just say appreciation to Anna, to Samira, to Abigail, to Dolapo, right? You learned something, right? If you learned something, I would love for you to, show your appreciation to them because this was really an amazing, session. My notepad is filled right now. Thank you so very much, Dolako. Thank you so very much, Samara. Thank you so very much, Anna. Thank you so much for answering many, many questions that were in the hearts of a lot of people as they came onto this call. It was really, really beautiful. Miracle is saying that she joined it, but she still grabbed a lot. I mean, that was wonderful. And then I saw someone also mention while Shemra was while Shemra rather was talking about embracing failure. Person mentioned that she had recently taken a cybersecurity course and she had failed it, and it really affected her. But just listening to Samira was really uplifting for her. So, that was really, really amazing. So, and when Anna was speaking also, I could see quite a number of people on the call who could relate to what Anna was saying and talking about how that, oh, this is where I am right now, and your words have really inspired me. Right, I can see someone saying that this is 2 hours well spent. Awesome, beautiful. Thank you so very much. Thank you so much, Abigail, for such, expertly, coordinating the conversation and how everything went. Beautiful. So I'm looking through the Q&A, and it doesn't seem like there are many questions, and I'm happy because, we are quite pressed for time right now. We're quite pressed for time right now. So if anyone has any question as regards their respective careers, I will just take through questions. So both Anna and Abigail have expertise in software development. I think Abigail has a bit of background in cybersecurity, so I can allow for that. Dolako is of course a product manager and Samara is a product designer. So if you have any question in line with any of these learning tracks, I think I can just give the next like 5 to 7 minutes that we can quickly take that and then can round off to this session. So there is already a question here on UI UX, and this is a very straightforward question. So Samara, please, we'll kindly need you to answer this in the next 2 minutes. Okay. So but she says that she wants to go into UI UX, but she does not have a computer. Is that possible? What would you advise that she does?
Okay, so I would definitely find like maybe a means to save up for a laptop. But before then, you can check out UXL. I dropped it on, oh, it's the panel session, sorry. UXL. So it's phone compatible. And what the platform does is that they teach you design, all the concepts of design, research, user testing, and quantitative testing all on your phone. And you can like they give you games to simulate like your knowledge of what you have learned so far. So practice with that so that I can grasp like the whole concept of what design is and save up for a laptop and start practicing.
Okay, beautiful. Thank you so very much for that, Samira. So apparently someone is also taking the UI UX course on Google that you suggested, right? And she's saying she's almost done with course 3, right? Beautiful. Wish you the very best in that. So
Well done.
Yes. Hi, Dolapo. You mentioned earlier about how that it's okay for you not to even know when you want to start, right? So I have someone here, but I have two people here. There's Sandra and there's Gloria, right? They are both new to technology, but they are a bit unsure as to what aspect in technology they can venture, right? You transition into tech from another career path. Do you have like say one to advice that you can give them? And please, in the next 2 minutes, if you please just help us manage time. That's for you,
Okay,
Dolapo.
okay, all right, thank you. So if you want to transition into tech, right, you want to be sure of what appeals to you. Do you understand? So there are different branches. As a product person, I used to say that if you don't have the energy to talk too much, to settle fights, to chase after developers, to convince my developers understand. So if you don't have that type of energy, product management is not for you, because it has to do with lots of meetings, lots of talking. You have to be able to convince people. You have to be able to tell them why this feature should work over the other feature and all of those things, right? If you have the flair for creativity, right? If you are the type that you know how to combine colors and all of those things, well, up until some few months ago, my designers used to say when I want to come up with a slide, I should come and ask them for color combination. So obviously, design is not my thing, obviously, right? So if you have the flair for color combinations, you have the flair for aesthetic, right? Then design is for you. If you know that you have the flair for you like to understand how things work, you want to control how things work, right? Engineering is for you, even though there's the headache of bug fixing, like Samira said. But so you have to, when you want to transition into tech, you have to understand what your flaws, you have to understand what you like. It is what you like that you used to go into what you want. Otherwise, you'll just be frustrated. Right. So that's what I have to say.
All right, beautiful. Thank you so very much. I don't see any question here on software. There are some questions here on data. Anna, do you think you'd be able to answer that? Is it okay if I ask you some of the questions I can see here on data?
From data.
Yeah, data science. So there's someone saying that they want to go into data analysis, but they don't understand Python, right? So they're asking if they can be a great data analyst without necessarily learning coding. I know that it's not all part of data analysis that really requires coding, but if there's any insight you can provide on that.
Okay, you might not need to know coding per se, but I think you want to know how to come up with some scripts of your own. So it's like if you are working with SQL, you need to be able to write some scripts, like some statements. So I think it's something that you can learn, but since you want to focus on data, you can only learn the aspects that are related to data analysis in data science, and not necessarily everything else like web and stuff, because like Python, it is web, it is many other uses. So you'd only like need to at least understand a bit on how it's used in data science. I know there are many applications used for business intelligence. I'm not well versed in those, but I think you can use those applications, but at least you need to understand what's going on behind the scenes, like because data analysis has to do with a lot about statistics. So if you understand statistics and models and all that, you should be able to explore that. But I think I can't tell you that you escape learning a bit about some programming. It might not be Python, because Python is not the only language that is being used in data science, but you might meet some coding bits in that program.
Okay, thank you so very much, Anna, for that. Hi, Abigail. I know you have some experience in cybersecurity. There is someone here who would like to go into cybersecurity miracle, but she does not have a laptop. Again, do you think, how would you suggest she start out? Hi, Abigail, that's for you.
Yeah, so the CS that I abbreviated actually is a computer science background, but I also study cybersecurity because of penetration testing and a few things. I would say you really need a laptop to start with, from my experience, because there are a lot of techniques, there are a lot of quizzes, there are a lot of challenges, right, that you need to do on your PC. And I haven't yet come across a phone or an app or software that helps you learn, aside maybe Coursera if you are using to learn it. But for the practical aspect, right, let's say you need to use a tool like Harvester, right, to get phishing emails, you need to use a laptop, right? But the other side too is with something like the GRC components, like if you want to go to more of the reporting, monitoring and all those things to document them, that one Google Docs is on our phone, so that one you can do it. So let's say they give you an incident, right, and you probably write a response, what happened, what you observed, and then how they can recover, how the company organization can recover. For that sort of reporting and analysis, that can be done in Notes, Google Docs, and the rest. So that can be done on the phone. But when it comes to like the on hand practical, it has to always be on a machine.
Okay, thank you so very much for answering that, Abigail. And thank you once again to all of our speakers for, such an amazing time. We are rounding up and we have come to the last segment. So just a few announcements. I saw some questions about the Women Techsters programs. So just like many of the speakers have said, right, at Tech for Dev here under the Women Techsters initiative, we actually have trainings for each and every of these programs for software development, for cybersecurity, product design, product management, data science, and AI. For our fellowship, we also go ahead to have 3D and animation, we have blockchain, we have mobile app development. And I know that some of you have been asking questions about how to get into the program. So the first thing I will tell you is you have to be following us on social media. That is, you have to be following Tech for Dev across all social media platforms. I already posted all of our links to all of our social media platforms in the chat earlier. So please make sure you're following us. That way you are kept abreast of all information. So whenever there's a new program and ongoing, you can register. For instance, we have a program called Developers Foundry that recently went live, right? And it's for people in Sierra Leone, people in Nigeria, right? And like a few other African countries, right? For developers who already have some form of experience or they want to scale up their careers. And like I said, all of our programs are free. You just need to apply. So please make sure that you're following us on social media so that you can get to me. Now, for the Women Techsters, we have the Women Techsters Bootcamp, which is an experimental training in that it is just for 3 weeks, but it gives you like every basic information, every basic knowledge you need to either start your career in data science, data analysis, rather, cybersecurity, software development, product design, product management. You want to be like Dolakpo, you want to be like Samira, you want to be like Anna, you want to be like Abigail. Make sure you register, right? So follow us on social media, and once call for application is out, you can also get it. And of course, for our class of 2025 fellowship, make sure you stay glued to Tech for Dev social media. You'll be seeing information there all about it here. So we have come to the end of the Women Techsters Open Day July edition. We just have one last thing to do, and that is picture time, right? Samara was mentioning earlier about having a brag document. I mean, you attended a webinar like this. Wouldn't it be good to post on social media and tell the world that I have kickstarted my tech journey by attending the July edition of the Women Techsters Open Day. I learned XYZ from Anna, I learned XYZ from Dolakpo, I learned it from Samira, I learned it from Abigail. So if you'd like to take pictures with us, right? We're taking a virtual photo shoot now. If you like the pictures, just kindly raise your hand and I'll be promoting you to the panel session. Please note that Once you are promoted to the panel session, you're expected to turn your video on. So ensure that you are in a good place. I mean, look at all of our speakers looking beautiful, having very bright, colorful background. So ensure that you are in a place where you can turn your video on and you can smile beautifully and then we can take pictures. So I will be promoting some people to panel session now. Please, once you are promoted to the panel session, kindly turn your video on and get ready to take pictures with us. Right. So make sure you are also getting ready to take pictures so that you can post about it. I always like to say we should have something for the gram. Right. So I have I have promoted a couple of people to the panel session. If you are currently in the panel session, please turn your video on so that we can take pictures and then call it a day for today. Yes, so I promoted a couple of people. I think I'll just promote like 2, 3 more persons, and then we can quickly. Yes, so if you are in the panel, beautiful. I can see some of us have already turned our video on. I can see Glory, Ngozi, Tobechi. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. All right, so this is typically one of my favorite sessions. So we will be unmuting with very bright smiles and we'll be saying women in tech, right? So please, just to confirm, are we ready?
Yes, I'm ready.
Okay, beautiful, 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 awesome. So on the count of 3, 2, 1, your brightest smile and you're saying woman in tech. So 3, 2, 1, woman in tech. Beautiful. Let's do that one more time, just so that we're able to capture everyone. So one more time, unmuting again, your bright smiles. Women in tech, everybody.
Women in tech.
Beautiful. Awesome. Thank you all so very much for attending today's webinar. I mean, it was amazing. I had a great time. I trust you did too. Please make sure you connect with all of our speakers on LinkedIn. We have already shared all their information. We have already shared links to their profiles. You can even just search for them. You can see their names already. So search for them, connect to them. Also, don't forget to follow Tech for Dev across all social media platforms. Thank you so very much, Anna. Thank you so very much, Olapo. Thank you so much, Samira. Thank you so much, Abigail. This was an amazing time. I hope you're able to learn something. It is goodbye from our end here in Lagos, Nigeria. Thank you all for joining in. Goodbye, everybody. Bye, everyone. Thank you. Bye, everybody. Thank you so much.
Bye.
Bye, everybody. Thank you. Bye.